Hey guys, what's up? It's Rescue Rabbit 101 here. So, first of all, I'd like to begin by saying I'm sorry I haven't had as many videos up recently. I've been really busy these last weeks because in school we're taking a whole bunch of standardized testing, and I also had a competition, a state competition for something else I do. So I haven't had a lot of time on my hands, and I actually don't have the Weird Deck Wednesday this week because there wasn't a deck. I've been working out my old decks so the new format. Sorry, I had the hiccups. Especially past What's Up. I've actually been playing around with Battle and Boxers because I really like the deck and I got those cool new cards. Excuse me. Um, yeah. So I just have one replay. A lot of people really like the videos I post, the Evilswarm deck profiles. So I figured I'd do a little bit more kind of showing off the deck. And this is just one game, and this is kind of Evilswarms at kind of their worst moments, and it's against Gravekeepers, which is inherently a bad matchup just because Descendant outs you. Like you have trap protection, but this guy was playing a weird build. He wasn't playing that many XCs. I don't know how standard that is, but I left in my time space trapples. This is a game too, and you'll see that was a big mistake. I also made a lot of misplays. I was tired when I did this, so there's a ton of misplays, and I'll point them out. And this is just kind of like the problems you can have with Evilswarms is when, they can get under the restriction Otheon places on you. And the big problem you have with the Gravekeeper deck is Spot E just completely, wrecks you, and then you can't get your resources back with Karikion. And you'll see, I put in 3 MSTs because this is game 2, and Necro Valley is actually causing me a lot of problems. So, I start off the game and I just set back row and pass because I don't see a point in summoning this guy nor setting this. Again, like I said, not playing a standard deck, but this is just kind of showing it off. Like I said, I make a lot of misplays. So I just wrote it here because now I can actually make it, a play. And then at this point in the game, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going into. I MST here because I don't want to run into a warning or a bottomless, which I figured they'd be saving for the Otheon, but turns out it wasn't necessary, and I probably should have helped it. Regardless, I try to attack, hit the Scrap Iron, and I just set this because I figure he's going to be able to out me really, really soon, and yeah, that's going to be helpful. So he spies into that. I ring to get the Descendant off the field so he can't pop me. And then he Dark Holes, and I, of course, chain my spell card to keep myself intact. But I think what he really wanted largely was his card dead, because now he gets his card back, and then he goes set. And I'm like, okay, well, he's going to get around me soon, so thank God I've got this. I detach to grab the other card because there's no point in not grabbing it, especially since I know I'm going to hit the Scrap Iron, and then I can't attack. I didn't want to burn that on a Scrap Iron since I knew he had the other monster in hand anyways, and you'll see this guy draws so many spies. Like, this card gets really annoying by the end. So he brings out Recruiter because he still has his normal summon, and then he stacks that to pop the Otheon, and I go Chain Call Traps because this is Gravekeeper. So I knock out both of his back row, which is really nice, and I learn he's got the Royal Tribute in hand. So you'll notice I'm kind of like watching for that, but he does play at the end, and it actually kind of does screw me. So he goes Sir Command and plays the Necro Valley. This is the card you really don't want to see because it's the Gravekeeper monster is actually big. So I Mirror Force him, and Necro Valley actually locks out Karikion. That's one of the most annoying things about Necro Valley. But you can't side out the Karikions because they're way too vital for the deck. So I just summon the caster and descend into caster beatdown mode because there's nothing better to do in this instance. He hits the Nobleman. That card's going to start pissing me off by the end of this game. You'll see, because it's either Nobleman or a Spy Set. So I top deck into the Rabbit here, and I'm really happy because Rabbit's going to complete my play. Now, what I should have done right here, and this is probably the biggest misplay I did. I know this is a Royal Tribute because I played the EEV. If I'd compulsed his set monster, I could have swung it for game. But I didn't notice what his life points were at until after I'd Exceed summoned, at which point swinging in their game isn't possible anymore. So I just grab the trap, because the trap is actually great against trap-heavy decks. I swing into the spy, and he summons the nobleman. And the spy into nobleman into spy gets really annoying, so I just don't attack because I don't want to attack until I'm sure I can get over the spy as well. But he starts setting more cards. I know that's a recruiter because I've seen all his draws up until this point. And this time space is totally dead. Like, that was a terrible decision not to side that out. But standard Gravekeepers. And here I tag into Karikian because I forgot Necro Valley was on the field. I summon it and then, like, oh, dang it. So I swing over the recruiter because I don't care that much about the plus. And I decide to swing into the Apostle. You'll see I make actually a lot of misplays just because I'm not keeping track of how many spies. I'm fairly certain he's actually out of spies at this point. Because as you can see in his, no, he's only used 2 of them. So I was right in that. He's also used 2 recruiters and a descendant, and I just lose count of the spies because I'm not counting it because I was tired when I did the duel. So I actually make a lot of strategical misplays based on that. He's playing the Visionary. He flips the guard, bounces the Otheon. This is getting annoying at this point, and then he summons the Visionary and attacks, and I find a good use for my Compulse on a 4100 beat stick. So at this point, he can Royal Tribute me if he really wants to, but he has 3 monsters, so I'm confident the card is pretty much dead in his hand, or he has a large number. I'm not sure exactly how many. So I use the Infection to tag back out the Karikians because they're totally dead. And you'll see, the fact that Karikian is dead hurts this deck a lot because it means you're going really neg to make plays. So I just swing in. I'm actually watching damage this time. And I get him down to 1350 life points. And this is where the game gets really annoying. Because this is like Gravekeeper's ability to stall for frickin' all eternity. Keep in mind, I no longer know what the cards are. And I do this, and I actually screw up here because I should have chained Thunderbird. But I messed up and didn't, so I actually have to burn the Pandemic. But he's not playing enough back row for it to actually be a concern. So at this point in the game, I eat the 2000, and then he decides to play Royal Tribute just to knock the card out of my hand. He sets first, so I don't know what he set, and then so I lose my monster, which was actually going to be really annoying because I wouldn't be able to make a play with a Thunderbird. Thankfully, I top of Commander, and I go Ragnazir here because from what I've seen of this deck, he's not actually playing like any real back row. Like, I've seen Deep Prison, and that's it. So I figure the back row is probably not real, which is very sad. And the thing about Ragna is Ragna gets his monster off the board because if we go into my extra deck, the cards that actually get me the game are this guy, Rebellion. Castell gets me the game. I think that's it. So, Ragna also gets me the game because he pops his card. But the thing about Ragna is, even if Ragna dies, I get advantage. And if it's something to just stop the attack, I can just pop his next monsters too. Fortunately, it's with the Mirror Force. So I set the Fiendish, which I sided in. Probably not all that great a side, but eh. And at this point, here's the thing. I have 4,500 life points, he has 1,350. If he hadn't drawn a monster there, he would have lost, and I had. But here's the thing. I decided to take the 21 because I want to save the Fiendish Chain, but I decide I'm not going to take the 21 again. So I hit the caster, and at this point, I really want an MST because MST, now an MST is perfect because that plus MST. So he hits this stupid, annoying 8 of Spirit card, which is one of the most annoying cards in the entire deck. So I Fiendish so I don't take the damage because I don't want to be down that low. I figure he's running Cowboy, but yeah, what is his extra deck? Anyways, so I draw the Rhoda and it's dead because that's all my caster. So I tag caster back out and then play the Rhoda to grab the caster. That's why I did that. I special summon the Mander because in case he's got a Compulse and he's bad and compulses, say, the caster when I summon the caster, I can just summon the caster again. I don't know. People are bad. If he thinks I don't have the spell. So I go into Otheon here because I think I don't know that the back row is not going to stop my attack. And I realized at this point it's actually better to play it safe. So I go into the Otheon because he's a huge body that I can protect. I can't protect any other Xyz right now. So I swing Elder dealing damage, and I'm like, please don't draw a monster. And he hits this and sets it. And I'm like, okay, he could be playing defensive, or it could be a spy. It please had better not be a spy. So I get the monster, and like I said, if Necro Valley wasn't there this game, much better for me. So he brings out Apostle, and this is the point where I hesitate when I shouldn't have. Because that's his last spy. He's out of spies, and I don't count that. I'm not counting this. So I just don't attack it, when really, in actuality, at that moment in time, yeah, this is kind of the messed up build. He could have summoned Spear Soldier, which doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. Like, they do stuff. He could have Guard would have pretty much been the only scary card. And Guard doesn't do anything because if he flips up Guard, I'm going to swing over it and pretty much take out the rest of his life points. So he draws, hits the other Necro Valley, and this is going to help him out a lot later because I'm going to throw my MST out. I think I summon the Thunderbird. No, I go into Castell because I want to get this stupid card off the board so I don't actually have to attack it. Because this is like, I figure I can stop the back row. And it's their Monster Reborn card. So he brings back out another Apostle, and I just cancel the attack. Because if I swing over with Theon and he brings out Spy, I can't get rid of the Spy, and that's not a good position to be in. So he draws into Escape from the Dark. Which I don't know why he's playing some of this junk. And I hit the MST, and I'm like, okay, now I've got it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to play this very carefully. And he summons Descendant and attacks into the Castell. I think because he'd rather keep his Apostle intact. So I MST the Necro Valley thinking, okay, this works. I actually was holding the MST until I hit another monster. But then he's got the Necro Valley again. And you'll see here, I draw the monster. So probably I just should have let the Castell die. But hindsight is 20/20. I did 500 damage. He's in Cowboy range. So I'm kind of playing to that win condition. A little bit. But not really because that's a ridiculous win condition. So we're just sitting here stalling, and I think at this point I realize, yeah, I think it was right at this point I realized that he actually doesn't have spies, and that there's no point in me not attacking. So he sets the Guard, which is kind of annoying. No, I realized I should just go on the offensive, and then I realized he's in Cowboy range, so I summoned the Thunderbird in main phase 2. That's why I didn't come down during main phase 1, because I didn't realize he was in Cowboy range. So here he draws Wonder Wand, flips to the Guard, bounces the Otheon, Wonder Wands the Guard, and then just tributes it through the draws. He hits the Stella, which is really annoying because this guy, so many monsters. So at this point, he sets the monster and passes, and unless those back row he's been holding can stop a Guard or a Cowboy, I don't know why he didn't. Oh, he doesn't know the Spellcaster type. Okay. And I just burned through the 800 remaining. And that's game. So, excuse me. Sorry, I had the hiccups, like I said. So, I'm still actually playing with the same build. I'm actually thinking about making changes like putting Fiendish into the main deck and some other slight changes. But I'm working with the build as is, and it'll come better. So tell me if you guys want me to do more, or sort of things where I talk about the Evilswarm deck, because that's what seems to get a lot of positive responses, is when I work with Evilswarms, which I like to play and I'm pretty good at. Not great, but I have been playing them for a long time, so if this is the sort of stuff you guys want to see, make sure to leave that down in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and Rescue Robot 101 signing out.